One thing I will say about it is that the government of South Africa, in their constitution, has it clearly written that no one, that means no one, is excluded, is prohibited from leaving the country. But the bottom line is that I was no threat, and I feel that I was made or they tried to make me a public example to discourage people from entering South Africa.
Mos Def, the rapper banned from another country who rebuilt his empire. Brooklyn, New York. The year is 1973. Dante Terrell Smith is born. The world would later know him as Mos Def. Raised by his mother Sharon Smith in Brooklyn, while his father Abdul Rahman lived in New Jersey. From a young age, Mos was already in spotlight, working as a child actor. That's right, before he dropped bars. He was already in front of the camera. He was born for the stage. Have you ever wondered how much one of the most respected names in conscious hip-hop is worth? Today, we're diving into the life, controversy, albums, awards, shows, businesses, and yes, the net worth of Mos Def, also known as Yasiin Bey. But stick around, because there's way more to this story than just money. Controversies, financial troubles, and South Africa incident. But not everything in Mos Def's journey was smooth or poetic. Behind the bars and brilliance, there were controversies, legal issues, and setbacks that took a toll on both his career and his wallet. Let's talk about what really affected his fortune. Child support and legal debt. At one point, Mos Def faced multiple child support cases in the U.S. Court records show that he fell behind on payments, leading to legal trouble and mounting debts. These weren't just headlines, they were hitting his bank account hard. Legal fees, settlements, and financial strain chipped away at his earnings over time. The South Africa situation, banned from the country. In 2016, the headlines were shocking. Mos Def deported from South Africa. Here's what went down. He was living in Cape Town and tried to leave the country using a world passport, a non-official document not recognized by the South African government. They arrested him, declared him an undesirable person, and banned him from re-entering the country. Not only did this incident go viral, but it also derailed his plans, canceled gigs, and cost him a ton of money. He was forced to reinvent himself all over again, relocating, rebuilding, and dealing with legal fallout. Was he in exile? To make things even more mysterious, many fans believe that his time abroad wasn't just about travel, but about escaping the music industry itself. Mos Def has been openly critical of the industry, calling it exploitative, toxic, and disconnected from true artistry. Some say he went into self-imposed exile, not just from the US, but from the pressures, politics, and weirdness of an industry he no longer trusted. Was it rebellion, spiritual retreat, industry fallout? Maybe a bit of all three. Reinvention after the storm. After his return, Mos Def started going by Yasiin Bey full-time, a name tied to his faith and personal evolution. He's done select performances, collaborated on unique projects, and even appeared in spoken word events and exhibitions. He may not be topping the Billboard charts today, but he's still moving with purpose, speaking his truth, and creating on his own terms. And that might just be the richest kind of freedom there is. So, despite all the turbulence, from courtroom battles to canceled contracts, Yasiin Bey didn't give in. He may have lost money, but he never lost his purpose. And now, let's take a look at what kept Mos Def standing, what remains of his fortune, and how he still built a legacy that's worth far more than just dollars. Music career. In 1998, alongside Talib Kweli, he formed the iconic duo Black Star. Their debut album, a conscious rap classic, and it even reached number 53 on the Billboard 200 with almost no mainstream promo. That's respect. Then came his solo debut in 1999, Black on Both Sides, and it was game on. It sold over 500,000 copies in the US alone and earned a gold certification. Deep lyrics, soulful beats, and the birth of a legend.
Nothing but pain, stuck in this game, searching for fortune and fame.
album sales, and chart positions. Let's break down Mos Def's key albums and their performance. Black on Both Sides, 1999. Gold certified, 560,000 copies sold. The New Danger, 2004. Debuted at number 5 on Billboard 200. Sold 513,000. True Magic, 2006. More Low-Key. Peaked at number 77 on Billboard. The Ecstatic, 2009. Critically acclaimed. Hit number 9 on Billboard 200. So even without radio hits or commercial bangers, he still climbed the charts. That's real artistry. Awards and recognition. Mos Def might not have shelves filled with Grammys, but he's earned Grammy nominations, Emmy nods, and even Golden Globe recognition for his acting. He starred in films like 16 Blocks, Be Kind Rewind, and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He doesn't just rap. He acts, he writes, he inspires. A true multi-talent. Earnings, shows, and net worth. Alright, let's talk money. Mos Def's estimated net worth is between $4 million and $6 million, depending on who you ask. And his per-show fees? No official numbers, but sources suggest he earns between $20,000 to $50,000 per performance, depending on the gig. We're not talking Drake-level millions, but this is real, independent money, built on talent, not trends. And the money from shows was good, but ironically, it nearly broke him completely. Because for him, performing is about much more than money. It's about connecting with people. Losing that meant also losing the chance to be seen and to share his other projects with the world. Sponsorships, brands, and businesses. In 2009, Mos Def partnered with the streetwear label UNDR to release the Mos Def Cut and Sew collection. The line featured t-shirts, bandanas, and other apparel inspired by hip-hop and basketball culture. He also introduced a design collective called Fellowship Mission, which included a limited release fragrance named Haroon No. 7. This project was a collaboration with friends and artists, blending fashion and social consciousness. In 2016, Mos Def became the creative director of the South African brand Unknown Union, which created clothing inspired by traditional Basotho blankets from Lesotho. The collaboration focused on limited edition fashion pieces and aimed to support social causes in the region. These ventures still bring an income for him to this day, and they've been one of the key pillars keeping him going. An old project that he continues to reap the benefits from even now. So, Mos Def or Yasiin Bey might not be the wealthiest rapper out there, but he's without a doubt one of the most respected voices in hip-hop. With over 1 million records sold, Grammy nominations, iconic films, and a lasting legacy, he's done it his way. And if you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, subscribe, and share with someone who loves real hip-hop. Peace out. See you in the next one.